Welcome in to Mind of McConnell. It is week 14 start sit Thursday. Welcome in, guys. Vikings, Steelers tonight. Dalvin Cook is back. We'll see what that means. Obviously, Alex Madison is probably a guy that you want to kind of cool your jets on a little bit tonight. I think he's going to be involved. The reports are saying that Dalvin's going to get his normal workload, but to me, I feel like there is going to be some room for Madison here. Like, I mean, you've got two guys that are nearly equal when it comes to this overall talent. That's how good I think Alex Madison is. I think he deserves to be a starter in this league. But I do believe that Alex Madison will be involved tonight. I don't know if it's going to be like involved like Tony Pollard is for Dallas. Probably not to that extent. But I just think, to me, if I was the Vikings, I'd be waiting one more week. So that's just me, though. Okay, so let's get started tonight, guys. Let's get you ready for a W this week. Obviously, playoff start for most of you. In most of my leagues, they start next week. So this is the last regular season week. So it is time to really buckle down, get the W this week, and go into the playoffs strong. So let's get it started here. Kyle Mulkey, if Allen doesn't play, if Keenan Allen doesn't play, Hunter Renfro, AJ Green, Jerry Jeudy, PPR, I think the production that you have gotten from Hunter Renfro pretty much all season long, I think that indicates you have to go with Hunter Renfro. He's been better week to week than AJ Green. He's been better week to week than Jerry Jeudy. He's been better all around than both of those guys. So, especially if Darren Waller doesn't play. And right now he's still sitting on with the questionable tag. So, I think whether Waller plays or not, I think Renfro has to be the choice there. And you just can't trust AJ Green and Jerry Jeudy right now. So go ahead and give me Hunter Renfro. And I really don't even think it's particularly close, to be quite honest with you. Kyle Mulkey again, Javonte Williams or Saquon Barkley. You never thought this would be a question during week one, did you? You never thought this was going to be a question. However, I told you guys, Javonte Williams is the truth. Javonte Williams can play, man. Like, this dude is legit. And going into next year, this is a guy, especially in Dynasty, but even in redraft in 2022, Javonte Williams is probably going to be a top 10 running back off the board. I don't even think there's any question he's going to be a top 10 running back off the board. And I would almost venture to say whether or not Melvin Gordon's there anyway. And I don't think he's going to be there. I think Melvin Gordon's going to be gone. But Javonte Williams, to me right now, I mean, he's an RB1 in fantasy for 2022. However, is he an RB1 for fantasy this coming week? I don't know. Tell me if Melvin Gordon's going to play. If Melvin Gordon doesn't play, this is the way I'll answer that, Kyle. If Melvin Gordon doesn't play, yeah, I'm starting Javonte Williams. I'm starting Javonte Williams over Saquon Barkley. Probably every week the rest of the year that Melvin Gordon doesn't play, I'm starting Javonte Williams. I think he's that good. So if Melvin Gordon does play, I think you got to go with Barkley. So that's kind of how I'm answering that. It all comes down to Melvin Gordon and whether or not he's going to suit up and be on the field. Lisa McCullough, need 3 full-point PPR. Chase Claypool, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Deebo Samuel, or Mike Williams. Okay, so you're never going to start Mike Williams over Cooper, Hopkins, and Deebo, number one. Healthy or not. I don't care what the matchup is. I'm not benching either of those 3 guys for BMW. I'm also not benching either of those guys for Chase Claypool, clearly. You can't trust Claypool. So Claypool and Big Mike Williams, BMW, are out. Well, there's your 3 right there. It's Amari Cooper, it's DeAndre Hopkins, it's Deebo Samuel. Deebo is supposed to play, Cooper is going to play, and Hopkins is going to play. So there you go. You take your 3, I think, elite options for the most part in fantasy. Your 2 money options, Hopkins and Deebo, when they're on the field, they're money. Especially Deebo. I think he's wide receiver 3 right now in PPR and fantasy. So you can't bench Deebo Samuel. And of course, you're not benching Cooper or Hopkins for Claypool and Mike Williams. So BMW and Claypool are going to see the bench. So there you go. Matthew Bright, let Dalvin Cook eat. I mean, if you're a Cook fantasy owner, yeah, that's what you want to see. But if you're the Vikings, like, it doesn't really even make sense that he's active tonight. I think the Steelers are going to win with or without Dalvin Cook. But if I'm the Vikings, do I believe that I can win without Dalvin Cook? Yeah. Alex Madison has proven that he's not too far removed from the talent of Dalvin Cook. Like, it doesn't fall far from the tree, in other words. So, to me, I think you have to, if I'm the Vikings, I'm benching Dalvin Cook for one more week. And I'm riding with Alex Madison. But again, like, it is a win-win, or a must win. So if they think Cook's healthy enough, they're going to get their best player out there, I suppose. But I think it's a mistake, to be honest with you. But I understand the reasoning you're saying that as a Dalvin Cook owner. Pick one, half-point PPR, KJ Osborne tonight or Debo on Sunday, and hopefully he plays. Really don't have any other options. If Debo Samuel doesn't play. Well, if Debo doesn't play, you're going to have to find another option. You're not going to have a choice. However, the good news is Debo is fully expected to suit up at this point. I have KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne was my number one waiver ad this past weekend. This past Tuesday night into Wednesday. So, to me, I mean, I think KJ Osborne is a great play tonight with Adam Thielen out. I've got KJ Osborne locked and loaded in a lot of my lineups this week. Of course, not in the flex, because what do we say? Get your Thursday night players out of the flex spot. Get them out of the flex spot. So yeah, I think KJ Osborne is a good play. So I'm rolling out KJO in a lot of areas where I need him. So if it's between KJO and MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, even with Randall Cobb out, I'm going KJ Osborne. I mean, I think both are solid play. I'm going KJ Osborne. But Debo is expected to play, so Debo is the easy choice here. So, yeah, you're not going to bench Debo. You're going to roll the dice, bench KJO, and play with Debo. Let's see. Top 5 picks next year. What do you think? Well, you guys already know I'm a running back. I am a big proponent of the RB heavy format. So running back. 3 straight rounds. It worked well for me this year. Eckler, Najee, Swift. I'm feeling good, baby. In redraft, I am money right now this season. But no, top 5 picks next year. I mean, I think Derrick Henry's still going to be there. Christian McCaffrey, I think, is going to be hanging on by a thread as a top 5 pick just because of his ceiling. I mean, outside of those guys, it's really tough. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, that goes without saying. So it really depends on if it's a 1 QB league or a super flex. But I think either way, I mean, I'm taking a running back with the first pick. I don't care what the format is. So, but those would be 3 of the 5 in my opinion. Joe Desano, have both Cook and Madison. I play Cook, or I can rule out Jamal Williams on Sunday, or hope Mitchell can go. You are going to roll out Dalvin Cook. The only way you would bench Dalvin Cook is if you just got the spooks right before kickoff. You would then bench him for Elijah Mitchell and hope that Mitchell plays. But obviously Cook is playing, so just play the best player here. They said that he's going to get a full workload. All we can do is trust the reports that we have out. I mean, if he was going to play, a part-time role, complimentary role with Alex Madison, that might be different. But if he gets 30 touches, I mean, you got to play him. So I would stick with Dalvin Cook. I wouldn't think too much about it. Clinton Garrett, I asked earlier, but super worried about Debo playing, and Deontay Johnson has been hot for the Steelers, so I'm torn with this. If Debo doesn't play, I'm in trouble. I understand you wanting to sort of, I think you are leaning, it sounds to me like you are leaning toward Deontay Johnson. I can't blame you for leaning Deontay Johnson. There is a floor there with Deontay with the amount of targets that he gets. He's got that target floor. I am comfortable in saying start Debo and bench Deontay Johnson. That's what the reports say. However, if you aren't as confident as I am, I will not crucify you at all. I think both are excellent plays. So, I'm not benching Debo for KJ Osborne, right? But I can totally understand if you want to play it safe and still have a high floor player in Deontay Johnson in your lineup, go for it. So to me, I think it's a very low-risk move in benching Debo for a guy like Deontay Johnson, but I think it's too risky to bench Debo for a guy like KJ Osborne. So you got to kind of find that sweet spot. I think you've got the sweet spot. So I could totally understand if you're leaning Deontay Johnson there, Clinton, and it's totally understandable. So just trust your gut on that one. It sounds like your gut is telling you Deontay Johnson. James Peluso, Packers or Cowboys defense this week? Look, I'm going Cowboys defense every single week. The Cowboys defense, the Dolphins defense, and I think the Bills defense has been, the Patriots defense. Those have been my three streaming defenses this year. Obviously, the Patriots turned out not to be a streaming defense; they're an elite defense. But those were the defenses in leagues that I had that have team defense in the format. Those were the three defenses I went into this year saying I want one of these three all year long. I'm not cutting one. That's who I'm playing. And the Broncos were a close fourth if I had to choose another one. They're like a streaming defense. But between those two, I'm not starting the Packers. I understand the Packers are at home against the Bears, but I think Fields is going to be back, probably wants to play well. I'm going Cowboys defense, must-win game, pivotal division game against Washington. Look, they just create turnovers, man, and pick sixes. I think obviously you've got to allow yourself to get a piece of that. And I think the Cowboys do that better than the Packers. So give me the Cowboys defense rest of the season. I don't care who the opponent is, really, if we're talking about these two guys or these two defenses. Michelle, Jeffrey Wilson Jr., or Ty Johnson. Yeah, it's that bad. Between the three, I think you're going to go Sony Michel because I think Sony is going to be more involved than JWJ or Ty Johnson is going to be involved. Whether or not Darrell Henderson is on the field or not. If Darrell Henderson's not on the field, Sony's going to be the workhorse. And, of course, that's the obvious choice. But even if Darrell Henderson plays, I think they may want to sort of, ease his workload a little bit. And I think Sony's going to be a big part of that. I don't like Sony Michel. I don't trust him. But you got to play him over JWJ and Ty Johnson there. So that's where I'm going here. And definitely not David Johnson. You can forget about that. Foreman or Hilliard in PPR. It's funny because I was just asked this on Twitter today. And here's the thing. There's not a running back to own in Tennessee. There's just not. Neither option is very good. You don't want to have to rely on any option. But clearly you are put in a position, probably due to bye weeks, where you have to choose one of these guys. In PPR, you're going to go with the guy who has the highest floor, okay? The main pass catcher. That is Dontrell Hilliard. You're going to go with Hilliard. He's got the home run hitting ability. He's got the ceiling. He's got the higher floor. We saw that. It's got to be Dontrell Hilliard. I'm not saying, oh, yeah, you got to trust him. He does have a good matchup. I'll give you that against Jacksonville. But don't expect a lot. But if you're going to trust one of these guys, it's got to be Dontrell Hilliard. Chris Easton, Todd Dano, or Pollard? I don't know who Todd Dano is. And Pollard might sit. Chris, you're going to have to re-ask that one, buddy. What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you, buddy. Jared David, pick one in PPR. Alex Madison, KJ Osborne, Jeffrey Wilson Jr., or Khalil Herbert. Cook starting has me in a situation now. So the interesting thing about this is David Montgomery might not play. I think he's going to, but he might not play. If he doesn't play, obviously I would play Khalil Herbert because Dalvin Cook is playing, so Alex Madison obviously becomes a little more expendable. However, what I would say is, since Dalvin Cook is playing, I would bench Alex Madison. So then to me, you're looking at all these other options. We don't know yet if David Montgomery's going to play. So that puts you in a pickle because you only have two options here. It's Khalil Herbert or KJ Osborne. And you can't wait till Sunday because KJ plays tonight. So to me, I'm going KJ Osborne. He's in a good spot. I wouldn't say KJ Osborne if Adam Thielen were active. I would say wait, and I would just play Khalil Herbert or Jeff Wilson at that point. But because you have to know tonight, I'm going to go KJ Osborne. Get the guaranteed points, the guy that's got a guaranteed workload. Khalil doesn't have a guaranteed workload unless David Montgomery's ruled out. If he ends up being ruled out, yeah, you're going to hate it that you bench Khalil Herbert, but there's nothing you can do. You can't tell the future. So go with KJ Osborne. Hope for the best. I think he's a pretty good play tonight. Would you trade Shenault and a second-round pick for Tyler Lockett? I think it depends on where your team is. If your team is in competition mode, like you are competing for a playoff spot, or not really, if you're competing for a title, I would probably say yes if you need the wide receiver upgrade, because I think Lockett and Russ are gonna get it together a little bit more during this fantasy playoff stretch. So I would say yes. But if you are like teetering on the brink of the playoffs or just not in the playoffs at all, then no, I would hold on to Shenault in the second round pick. I don't like Laviska Shenault. Any of you guys that listen to the show know that I think Laviska Shenault is I think he's talented in real life. He's better in real life than he is in fantasy. He's never going to provide you in season long. He's never going to provide you that weekly trustworthiness and sustainable that you're looking for in a fantasy player. You just don't know what you're going to get out of LSJ. So to me, I would try to sell LSJ for something else. If I'm competing for a title, yeah, I'll sacrifice LSJ in the second round pick and I'll go get Tyler Lockett. But if I'm not, then in that case, I'm just gonna bite the bullet there, and I'll take the chance on keeping Laviska Shenault in the second round pick, because I think the second round pick is going to be. I wouldn't give up a second round pick for Tyler Lockett straight up, really, in Dynasty. So it's kind of tough for me to add LSJ to that, even though he doesn't mean much to me. But yeah, I would probably keep LSJ in a second round pick if you are on the brink of the playoffs or just out of the playoffs. But if you are competing for a title shot this year and going all in, yeah, go ahead. Tyler Lockett's a fine addition, I think. Matthew Bright, KJ Osborne, or Elijah Moore. I will go with KJ Osborne this week. I don't think either one is a bad play, but I'm going with KJ Osborne over Elijah Moore. I think he's in too good of a spot tonight. Must-win game against the Steelers defense at home. Allegedly, they're going to be throwing the football a little bit more in Minnesota. That's what reports have said the last week or two. So we'll see how that goes. Kirk Cousins is playing the best football of his career. So yeah, I think you got to go KJ Osborne tonight. James Peluso, Cousins or Bridgewater? James, you know the answer to that. You know the answer to that, James. You are not benching Kirk Cousins for Teddy Bridgewater. You're going to play Kirk Cousins. You're going to play him with confidence. Starting D-Hop, Terry McLaurin, Elijah Moore. I could flex Gallup, Mooney, or KJ Osborne. Do you play KJO over those two? Yes, I would. Normally, obviously, I'm going to play Michael Gallup, but I think this week, I think KJ Osborne is in a good enough spot to where I'm going to play him over Michael Gallup. I'm not ever going to start Mooney over Gallup. So it's KJ Osborne, Michael Gallup, Darnell Mooney in that order. So KJO for me is going to be the play. Lock him in. Just don't lock him into your flex spot. Put him in your wide receiver spot, obviously. You guys know. Need to for PPR, Rondale Moore, who you can never rely on because he is KJ Hamler 2.0. I told you guys that all summer, and lo and behold, I was right. Rondale Moore, Cortland Sutton, Nick Westbrook, Ikine. I'm going to go with Nick Westbrook, Ikine. He's got a good matchup. A.J. Brown is out. We don't know what kind of workload Julio's going to be, but you know you can't rely on Julio Jones anyway. So I think Nick Westbrook Akine is going to be the guy that you're going to play there more than over them all. I'll go with Cortland Sutton. You cannot, under any circumstances, rely on Cortland Sutton while Jerry Jeudy is also on the field, but you can, I think, rely on him better than you can Rondale Moore, and I will do so. So go ahead and give me Sutton, give me Nick Westbrook Akine against Jacksonville there. Jared, David, Alex Madison, Melvin Gordon, Jerry Jeudy need one. Oh, that's tough. I'll go Alex Madison. Yeah, I'm going to go Alex Madison. I'm going to take Madison because I think Madison, I personally believe that Madison is going to get a bigger workload than what some reports have said tonight. And I'm kind of up against the wall tonight in one of my leagues where I have to start Alex Madison. So I don't think either of these three guys are great plays, but I will take the best talent. I will take the best player. Give me Alex Madison and just cross your fingers. Don't rely on any of these three guys, but give me Alex Madison. So real quick, I got the messy Alex Madison worry right now. If I don't play him, my options would be J-Rob, Van Jefferson, or Cortland Sutton. Yeah, you're not going to play Alex Madison over James Robinson. You're not going to play any of those guys over James Robinson. Play James Robinson. Trevor Lawrence today, or I think it was today or yesterday, publicly came out and essentially just like called the coaching staff out and was like, look, we got to get James Robinson on the field more. I'm putting my confidence in James Robinson. So we got to get him on the field. I think that's correct. They have to. And James Robinson's too good to bench for any of those guys. So give me James Robinson. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's really particularly close. Start me out of talking Renfro over Jamar Chase. Look, I understand. I get it. Jamar Chase, you loved him for a few weeks, and now you've sort of soured, you want to give him up for adoption. I get it. You don't love him. You get it. I get it. I say it all the time. I say it every week, every show. I'm never going to advise you guys to do something that I would not do myself. And I am never going to bench the ceiling and the potential and the talent of Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow for Hunter Renfro. I'm just not going to do it. So there's your answer. I'm going Jamar Chase. Clifford Armstrong, KJ Osborne, or Russell Gage. Do not trust Russell Gage. I'm sorry. I know he's coming off a pretty decent game. Give me KJ Osborne. I'm not trusting the Falcons. I'm not doing it. Give me KJ Osborne. Scott, and you know what? Matt Ryan agrees. KJ Osborne. Do not start Russell Gage. KJ Osborne. Scott Gaiman, Knox or Hawkinson, Landry or Gallup. I will go Landry over Gallup, and I will go Landry over Gallup, and I'm going to take Hawkinson over Dawson Knox. That's a tough one. That's a coin flip, but give me Hawkinson over Dawson Knox. David Martinez, Elijah Moore, or KJ Osborne. I will go with KJ Osborne tonight. Let's see, James Conner or James Robinson. Well, James Conner's outlook may have gotten a little worse now. He may not be that workhorse RB1 in fantasy any longer starting this week because Chase Edmonds was activated, or I shouldn't say, he was designated to return. So Chase Edmonds has not been activated yet, but he has been designated to return. So he could be activated, probably will this week. Having said that, I will still go with James Conner. I'll still lean James Conner one more week here. Let's see. David Martinez, I was leaning on playing Madison over Zeke, but with Cook playing now, I don't know what to do. Please. No, you weren't going to play, well, here's the thing. I wouldn't have played Madison over Zeke simply because Tony Pollard's probably not going to play on Sunday. So that only helps Ezekiel Elliott. So now you are definitely not going to play Alex Madison over Zeke. You're going to play Zeke. You're going to play him with confidence. You have to. Tony Pollard's probably going to be out for a week. Even if he isn't, he is playing with a partially torn plantar injury. That is going to be, it's excruciating to play on. Even Taysom Hill's dealing with the same injury right now, so it's difficult to play on especially for a running back who's got to do a lot of cuts and run routes. He's not going to get a full Tony Pollard workload, even if he does suit up and even if he is active. So give me Zeke over Madison easily this week. Chris, Taco Bell beefy 5-layer burrito or Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. It's closer than I think a lot of people would know, but would think. But it's going to be Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich. Chick-fil-A doesn't even have the best chicken sandwich by far in the chicken market. That belongs to Popeyes, by the way. So there you go. It's going to be the spicy chicken sandwich, though, from Chick-fil-A over the Taco Bell beefy 5-layer. But now I'm kind of craving a beefy 5-layer. I might do that for dinner tonight. Brandon McLemore, last question of the night. It looks like Wilson or Burrow. I can't trust Russell Wilson right now. Give me Joe Burrow. Give me Joe Burrow. Even Joe Burrow agrees. There you go. King of the Jungle, Joe Burrow agrees. Guys, thank you so much. Looks like that's all the questions. If you have any more, ask them in the comments. Tag me. I'll try to get to them before kickoff. Best of luck tonight. Enjoy the games. We will see you on Sunday for Mine and McConnell Start Sit Sunday, Week 14. Guys, I am out. Good luck tonight.